Hello students, in last lecture of chapter 7, that is linear programming problem, we have seen a concept of meaning and formation of a linear programming problem. Now we are going to consider the same concept, that is formation of LPP, but in last lecture we have seen how to form an LPP, and now we are going to consider solutions of the problems which are based on formation. That is, we are going to solve here exercise number 7.3, and this is presented by myself, Davange Avinash from KTHM College, Nasik. So let us start with some revision from the previous lecture. That is, we are going to consider some steps in mathematical formulation of a linear programming problem. So step 1, that is identify decision variables. Initially we have to decide which variables may be involved in this corresponding problem. The second step is identify the objective function and write it as mathematical expression in terms of decision variables. Next, step 3, that is we have to identify limitations or restrictions. Those are called as constraints, and express these constraints as mathematical equations or mathematical inequations. Then while doing this, we have to note these two important things. We shall study a linear programming problem with at most two variables. That is, we want to concentrate here with the problems with only two variables, and we restricting ourselves to a LPP which involving non-negativity constraints or non-negativity restrictions. These are the two important facts that we have to remember while considering formulation of linear programming problems. So let us start with some examples from exercise 7.3. So the first example is, a manufacturing firm produces two types of gadgets, gadget A and gadget B, which are first processed in foundry and then sent to a machine shop for finishing. The number of man hours of labor required in each shop for the production of A and B, and the number of man hours available for the firm are as follows. So we have a table in which the information is given. We are going to produce two types of gadgets. Gadget A, suppose this is virtual reality gadget, and gadget B, that is likewise a Fitbit band. This is again a small tiny gadget which can be fit on our finger, and that is connected to our mobile. So this is actually a gadget. This is virtual reality gadget, and this is Fitbit band for a finger. Now these two processed on two different machines. A foundry machine required 10 minutes for gadget A and 10 hours for gadget A and 6 hours for gadget B, while the machine shop takes 5 hours for gadget A and 4 hours for gadget B. The time available in hours with the foundry and machine shop is 60 hours with foundry and 35 hours with machine shop. The profits on sales of A is rupees 30 and B is rupees 20 per units. Formulate the LPP to have maximum profit, that is our problem. So this is actually a production problem, and this production problem we want to formulate in mathematical form. To consider that is to consider the solution, we have to consider the information already given in tabular form, but here the profit is also given, that also we are going to summarize in a table. So let us consider this table. The same information is here. We are preparing here two types of gadgets, gadget A and gadget B, and the time available, that is 60 and 35, that is also known. The time required for different gadgets on these different machines, they are also given here, and the profit for gadget A is rupees 30 while profit for gadget B is 20. Now we have to consider first step, that is decision variables. That is, we have to consider X as number of products of type A to be produced. So this is your first decision. X denotes number of products of type A to be produced, and Y is considered as number of products of type B to be produced. So those are also written here. You will observe X denotes number of gadgets of type A and Y denotes number of gadgets of type B to be manufactured. Now our first aim is to form an objective function. Our objective is to maximize the profit. Our objective is to maximize the profit, and profits are already given, rupees 30 for A and rupees 20 for B. So let us see how to consider this. Here 1 unit of A gives rupees 30 as a profit. So X units of A, that gives 30x as a profit. Similarly, 1 unit of B, that gives 20 rupees as a profit. So Y units of B, that gives 20y as a profit. So total profit is 30x plus 20y, and that's why your objective function will be, here we can consider maximize Z, that is equal to 30x plus 20y. So this is the way of formation of objective function. Next we have to consider formation of constraints. Here 1 unit of gadget A takes 10 minutes on foundry machines. Therefore, the time taken by X numbers of units of gadget A, that will be 10x. Similarly, 1 unit of B, that takes 6 minutes on foundry machine. So Y units of B, that will takes 6y hours on B, on foundry machine. Therefore, the total time taken on foundry machine by these two gadgets, that will be 10x plus 6y, and the foundry machine is available for 60 hours only. Therefore, the time taken by these two products, that is 10x plus 6y, that should be less than or equal to 60. Hence, this objective function is subjected to the first constraint, that is 10x plus 6y less than or equals to 60. That is called as foundry machine constraint. Similarly, you can consider a machine shop. It is clear that here 1 unit of A takes 5 hours on machine shop. Therefore, X units of A, that will takes 5x hours on machine shop. 1 gadget of type B, that takes 4 hours on machine shop. Therefore, Y numbers of gadget B, that will takes 4y numbers of hours on machine shop. So total time taken on machine shop by two products, that is equal to 5x plus 4y. Maximum time availability with machine shop is 35 hours. So this time utilized 5x plus 4y, that should be less than or equals to 35. Hence, you will observe that the machine shop constraint is 5x plus 4y less than or equal to 35. Now, it is clear that X and Y are assumed to be number of units of type A and type B products to be produced. Hence, we will conclude that here these products may not be negative. Number of products may not be negative. Hence, that also satisfies the non-negativity restriction x greater than or equal to 0 and y greater than or equal to 0. So, this is your required LPP associated with given production problem. Have you got it? Okay. Let us consider another example. Example number 2 that contains a doctor has prescribed two different units of foods A and B to form a weekly diet for a sick person. Here, a doctor has prescribed two different units of foods of type A and B to form a weekly diet for a sick person. The minimum requirements of fats, there are three types of ingredients required for a body. The minimum, that is fats, carbohydrates and proteins, are 18, 28 and 14 units respectively. Now see how this information we can summarize in a tabular form. So while considering solution, our first step is the information must be considered in a tabular form. So let us see what type of information. We have two types of foods, food A and food B. Okay. Now their contents are three types: fats, carbohydrates and proteins. They are appearing here: fats, carbohydrates and proteins. Their minimum requirement of body, that is also given here: 18 units of fat, 28 units of carbohydrates and 14 units of proteins. Further, it has been given that one unit of food A has 4 units of fats. We will observe here 1 unit of food A that contains 4 grams of fats, 14 units of carbohydrates and 8 units of proteins. Okay. So that information is considered here. Here you will observe that food A contains 4 units of fats, then 14 units of carbohydrates and 8 units of proteins that we have just considered. Next, the information is given that is about food B. 1 unit of food B has 6 units of fats, 12 units of carbohydrates and 8 units of proteins. So that information is considered here. Food B contains 6 units of fats, 12 units of carbohydrates and 8 units of proteins. Further, it is given that the price of food A is rupees 4.5 per unit and that of B is rupees 3.5. That is also considered cost per unit rupees 4.5 for product A and rupees 3.5 for product B. Now this is tabular form information. Our formation starts with decision variables. So first you have to assume, let x is equal to number of units of type A food to be consumed and y is equal to number of units of type B food to be consumed. Now that information we considering here. So see the variables here. The input variables are nothing but for food A we have considered x and for food B we have considered y. Okay. So x and y denotes number of units of food A and food B to be consumed. Now it is clear that the cost is 4.5 units for 1 unit. Therefore, for x numbers of units, the cost is 4.5x. Similarly, for food B, the cost of 1 unit is 3.5. Therefore, for y numbers of units of food B, the cost is 3.5y. And we know that cost is always supposed to be minimized. That's why your objective function becomes minimization of the cost, and that is minimize z, which is equal to 4.5x plus 3.5y. Now, we have to consider constraints. To consider the constraints, it is clear that here on right hand side we have given the minimum requirements of fats, carbohydrates and proteins per day for the sick person. It is clear that 1 unit of food A contains 4 units of fats. So, x units contains 4x units of fats. Similarly, 1 unit of B contains 6 units of fats. So, y units contains 6y number of fats, but the minimum requirement is 18. So, we require more than that. That's why the first constraint is 4x plus 6y, that should be greater than or equal to 18, because this is minimum requirement and we need at least that 18 units or more than 18 units. So, therefore, it is clear that your first constraint becomes 4x plus 6y is greater than or equal to 18. This is fats constraints. Similarly, you can consider a carbohydrate constraint. Here we will observe that we have to consider 14 units of carbohydrates in 1 unit of food A. Therefore, x units of food A that contains 14x units of carbohydrates. Similarly, y units of food B that contains 12y units of carbohydrates. So, total carbohydrates equal to 14x plus 12y, and minimum requirement is 28. So, that should be greater than or equal to 28. Hence, we will observe that the carbohydrate constraint is 14x plus 12y greater than or equal to 28. Okay. Similarly, you can consider the protein constraint. X units of food A that contains 8x numbers of protein units, y number of units of food B that contains 8y numbers of proteins. So, total protein content is 8x plus 8y and minimum requirement is 14. So, consumption must be greater than or equal to 14. Hence, the protein constraint will be 8x plus 8y greater than or equal to 14. As we have assumed that x denotes number of units of food A and y denotes number of units of food B to be consumed. Hence, it is clear that this x and y, they are number of units of food to be consumed. That's why they must be non-negative. Hence, the next non-negativity constraint is x and y that should be greater than or equal to 0. This is formation of second problem. So, this is your required linear programming problem associated with given information. Is that clear? Okay. Now, we are going to consider next problem. That next problem contains, if John drives a car at a speed of 60 kilometers per hour. If John drives a car at a speed of 60 kilometers per hour, he has to spend rupees 5 per kilometer on a petrol. If he drives at the faster speed 90 kilometers per hour, then the cost of petrol increases to 8 per kilometer. He has rupees 600 to spend on petrol and wish to travel maximum distance within an hour, that is in 1 hour, and we need to consider a formulation of a linear programming problem. Here it is clear that the objective is to maximize the distance. The objective is to maximize the distance by utilizing the given conditions. So, in some problems it is not necessary to form a table. By the simple information also we can form. Here we have to start with, let x denotes distance in kilometers traveled at the speed of 60 kilometers per hour, and let y denotes distance in kilometers traveled at the speed of 90 kilometers per hour. So, we have assumed that x and y, they denotes distance traveled in kilometer at a speed of 60 and 90 kilometers per hour respectively. Now, it is clear that x and y denotes distance traveled. So, total distance traveled is x plus y, isn't it? Total distance traveled is x plus y, and our aim is to get a maximum distance within an hour. That is why our objective function is maximize z, but John wants to travel maximum distance in an hour. Therefore, the objective function is maximization of z equal to x plus y. This is your total distance. We want to maximize that. That is why your objective function becomes maximize z, that is equal to x plus y. This is your first equation that gives you objective function. Okay. Now, we have to think on constraints, that is restrictions. It has been given that John has only rupees 600 to spend. It is therefore considered like this: he has only 600 rupees to spend on a petrol. Therefore, what we can conclude here, at the spending of rupees 5 per kilometer he travels x distance, and at the spending of rupees 8 per kilometer he travels y distance. Therefore, the total cost is 5x plus 8y, and that should be less than or equal to 600. Also, we know that velocity is always equal to distance upon time. Therefore, time is equal to distance upon velocity. Therefore, the aim is we consider to travel in an hour. The aim is to consider time taken to travel in an hour. Therefore, according to the formula, time is equal to distance upon velocity. It is clear that he travels distance x with the speed of 60 kilometers. Therefore, time taken for traveling by 60 speed is x upon 60. Similarly, time taken to travel at the speed of 90 is nothing but y upon 90, and the time required to travel is within an hour. That is why this should be less than or equal to 1. Is that clear? So, these are two constraints. Now, it is clear that x and y denotes here distance travelled. Therefore, they should not be negative. Hence, we will observe that x and y denote distances, therefore, they greater than or equal to 0. That is, non-negativity restrictions are also satisfied. So, equation 1 is objective function. Equation 2 and 3, they are nothing but constraints, that is restrictions, and equation 4 is nothing but non-negativity restriction. Hence, we have the LPP, that is given by equation 1 to 4 like this. So, the objective function is maximize z equal to x plus y. The first constraint is 5x plus 8y less than or equals to 600. Next constraint is x upon 60 plus y upon 90 less than or equal to 1, that is time constraint. And as x and y, they are distances, therefore, they must be non-negative. This is your required linear programming problem. Next, example 4. A company makes concrete bricks and they are made up of cement and sand. Let us see what is the problem. The company makes concrete bricks made up of cement and sand. The weight of concrete brick has to be at least 5. Cement cost rupees 20 per kilogram and sand cost rupees 6 per kilogram. Strength consideration dictate that the concrete brick should contain minimum 4 kg of cement and not more than 2 kilograms of sand. Form the LPP for cost to be minimum. So, our aim or our objective is to minimize the cost. So, let us see how to consider solution of this problem. So, let us see one by one what is the information given here. To form this LPP again, we need to consider some decision variables. So, let X denotes kilograms of cement used for production of 1 brick and let Y denotes kilograms of sand used for production of 1 brick. So, X and Y denotes cement and sand used in kilograms for production of bricks. Now, it is given that here we want to minimize the cost. The cost of cement is 20 kilograms and 6 kilograms for sand. That is why you have to consider X numbers of kilograms of cement is used. Therefore, the cost of cement is 20x and cost of sand is 6y, and therefore, cost of cement and sand is given to be 20 and 6 per kilogram. Therefore, the total cost is 20x plus 6y, and we want to minimize this cost. That is why we must consider the objective function as minimize z, that is equal to 20x plus 6y. Okay, this is your objective function, minimize z 20x plus 6y. Next, we have to consider constraints. Weight of a brick is expected to be at least 5 kilogram, that is given here. Here we will observe that brick has to be at least 5 kilogram, means whatever may be the cement and sand you using, the total weight must be minimum 5, that is x plus y greater than or equal to 5, that is expected. Minimum 5 greater than or equal to 5 is allowed. This is your first constraint. It is also given that according to the strength consideration, the concrete brick must contain minimum 4 kilogram of cement. So, we are going to use x kilograms of cement, and that is why this x must be minimum 4. That is, your next constraint is like this: due to the strength expectations, brick should contain minimum 4 kg cement, and that is why you will observe that x expected to be greater than or equal to 4. Similarly, not more than 2 kilograms of sand, that is why we must consider y less than or equal to 2. Not more than 2. So, that is why y must be 2 or less than 2. Not greater than 4, that is why x is greater than or equal to 4, sorry, not less than 4, that is why x is greater than or equal to 4, and not more than 2 kilograms of sand, that means y less than or equal to 2. Hence, we have all the 3 constraints. Now, x and y denotes kilogram of cement and sand used for production. Therefore, they should not be negative. So, hence x and y denotes cement and sand in kilograms. Therefore, x and y greater than or equal to 0. Hence, therefore, the required LPP is minimize z, that is equal to 20x plus 6y subjected to x plus y greater than or equal to 5, x greater than or equal to 4, and y less than or equal to 2 with the non-negativity restriction, x greater than or equal to 0 and y greater than or equal to 0. In this way, you can formulate any linear programming problem. So, here we have seen two problems of maximization type, two problems of minimization type, and we have seen different types of constraints. Sometimes you may face a problem with this mixed types of constraints, isn't it? That is greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, mixed types of constraints are also there with the problem. Okay, so this is something about formation. Now we have seen here a diet problem, production problem, company problems, and these all are nothing but day-to-day life problems, and using linear programming problem techniques you can convert these day-to-day life problems into mathematical form, and mathematics helps us to find solutions of these problems. So let us try to solve one problem by a method called as graphical method. So let us solve this problem for itself by a graphical method, and let us see how we will get the exact values for cement and sand to get a strengthened brick with minimum cost. So let us see how to consider solution by graphical method. So let us learn how to find solution of LPP by graphical method. Suppose we considering the problem minimize z, that is equal to 20x plus 6y subjected to the constraints x greater than or equal to 5, then x greater than or equal to 4, y less than or equal to 2, and x greater than or equal to 0, y greater than or equal to 0. Now our first step is to consider the solution by graphical method. Our first step is to treat all inequations as equations. So these are your inequations, constraint inequations, treat them as equations. So let us see what we getting. So first equation is x plus y equal to 5. This is your first constraint, that now becomes x plus y equal to 5. The second becomes, now it is clear that this equation actually passing through the points. If you substituting x equal to 0, then you getting y equal to 5, that is the point 0.5. If you substituting y equal to 0, then x equal to 5, that is the point 50. They are named as a and b respectively. So this equation passes through the point a 0.5 and b 50. Next, x is equal to 4. We know that this is a line parallel to y axis. Actually x greater than or equal to 4 becomes x equal to 4, because we are treating each inequation as equation. Similarly, the next one is y equal to 2. See here, y less than or equal to 2, when treated as equation it is y equal to 2. Okay. Now it is clear that y equal to 2 is a line parallel to x axis. Now once you know all these lines and these points on this, it is also clear that x greater than or equal to 0 can be treated as x equal to 0, that is y axis, and y greater than or equal to 0, that becomes y equal to 0, that is nothing but x axis. So we have to draw x and y axis. Also it is clear that this x and y greater than or equal to 0, that's why we have to consider only first quadrant. Okay. So as x and y greater than or equal to 0, we have to consider only first quadrant for graph. Now see how to draw the graph. This is your x axis. So y is equal to 0 line is drawn. Next, we have to consider a scale on this. As we are restricting ourselves in first quadrant, we have taken only positive values. The second line we need, that is y axis, that is drawn here, x equal to 0. Okay. On that also we are going to consider a positive scale. Okay. From again 0 to 5 we need. Here we will observe that the maximum value of x and y is 5. That's why I have taken here scale from 0 to 7 or 0 to 5 on x and y axis respectively. Now the first line passes through these 2 points. First line passes through these 2 points, a 0.5 and b 50. That's why we will get this type of line. This is your first line, x plus y equal to 5. Next we have to consider a second line, and that is x is equal to 4. This is your vertical line. See here, x equal to 4. And the third line is y equal to 2, that is parallel to x axis, y equal to 2. Okay. Now, once you getting these lines, next we have to consider the solution region. To obtain the solution region, we have to see the original nature of constraints. If constraint is greater than or equal to type, then we have to consider the region on the non-origin side of the line. And if it is less than or equal to type, then we have to consider the region towards origin side of the line. And for equal to means points on the lines are always considerable. So let us see which type of region we getting here. Now we will observe that the point of intersections are here. This is a line, the vertical line is x equal to 4, that's why x coordinate is 4, that is fixed, and the y coordinate is 1, that is with reference to this we can obtain, or we can substitute x equal to 4 in this equation. Then what is y? Y is equal to 1. So corner points we have to consider here. This is also another corner point, that is q is equal to 4 to x equal to 4 is fixed and y equal to 2 is there, that's why this point of intersection is 4, 2. Now see how to consider the solution region. Okay. So we will observe the first constraint is x plus y greater than or equal to 5. So for x plus y greater than or equal to 5, we will observe that the region will be of this type, that is non-origin side of this. Is that clear? Okay. This is for non-origin side. As we have considered x and y greater than or equal to 0, I have considered only first quadrant. Okay. Next, we have to consider the second line, that is x greater than or equal to 4. For x greater than or equal to 4, that is for this line towards non-origin side, means we have to consider this region, that is x greater than or equal to 4 points on the line and towards non-origin side. And for the third, we have to consider less than or equal to type. Here we will observe, and for less than or equal to, we have to consider the region towards this origin side. You can observe I am drawing the region. Are you getting? So you will observe that there is a certain region which contains all three types of shadings, yellow, blue and pink shadings are there in this region. You will observe. So this is called as common solution region, or that is called as feasible region. So feasible region means the region which contains or which gives us satisfaction of all the constraints. That is, your solution region will be of this type. I will show you. See here, above this first line or towards non-origin side of first line, then towards non-origin side of second line, and towards origin side of third line. So this is your region. The speciality of linear programming problem is that as a solution region, you always getting a convex region, and a solution of the LPP always exists at corner point of this solution region. So you will observe here, this is first corner point, this is second corner point, this is third corner point of the problem, and a minimization value always exists at any one of these corner points. That's why we have to think about the corner points. 5, 0 is also one of the corner point, and we have to check the value of objective function at these corner points. The objective function becomes at corner point minimum. So z at 4, 1, that is 86. Then z at 42, you will observe here. At 41 it is 86, at 42 it is 92. Now at 50, what this objective function becomes? The objective function is 20x plus 6y. So 20 into 5, that is equal to 100. So that's why at point B we do not getting the minimum value. The minimum value is present at this point, P equal to 86, because at this 50, see here, at here you getting 86, at 42 you getting 92, and at B you are getting 100. Therefore, the minimum value is 86 that present at P. So P is called as a solution point, and therefore you will say that Z is minimum at P, and therefore Z minimum value is 86 with x is equal to 4 and y is equal to 1. Means the brick must be constructed in such a way that it contains 4 kilograms of cement and 1 kilogram of sand, so that the cost of the brick is minimum 86. Is that clear? That is the application of a linear programming problem. It helps us to solve a day-to-day life problems, and we can observe that a production problem or a diet problem or a planning problem or any type of day-to-day life problem is possible to solve with the help of linear programming problem. In a next lecture, we will see more concepts about graphical method and their solutions of the day-to-day life problems by using linear programming problems graphical method. Thank you very much.